I'm Nathan.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Abby, and today we are going to be teaching you about molecular gastronomy.
So, what is molecular gastronomy anyway? Molecular gastronomy is defined as a scientific discipline concerned with the physical and chemical transformations that occur during cooking. As a science, it seeks to see how chemical and physical transformations affect the ingredients we commonly use. And as a cooking method, it's meant to take the familiar tastes and present them in a new and adventurous way using special equipment and techniques. Molecular gastronomy focuses on the mechanics and transformations that occur during culinary processes at the level of domestic cooking and restaurant cooking, and it seeks to generate new knowledge on the basis behind culinary processes in general. An example of molecular gastronomy is why mayonnaise becomes fur, why souffle swells, and the creation of jello or fruit pasta. The main goal of molecular gastronomy is to develop new ways of cooking that are rooted in science, and this relatively new culinary style based on these techniques is called molecular cuisine. Interest in food science has grown in recent years because of the increasing awareness of the vital role of food in our health, well-being, curiosity, and economic status of individuals and nations. Now off to Brendan about the history of molecular gastronomy.
So I'm going to be talking about the history of molecular gastronomy. Molecular gastronomy was first developed as a science that unified the chemical and physical attributes present when cooking food. The term molecular gastronomy was coined in 1988 by chemist This and physicist Nicholas Curti. However, molecular gastronomy has been around for a while. It has been given an official name in the present, but its roots stem from the past. Specifically, there are multiple people credited with furthering the science. To name a few, Claude Joseph Jeffery, an 18th century chemist who studied essential oils in plants, and another chemist, 18th century chemist, who studied meat stock, and is also celebrated as one of the founders of modern chemistry. In 1992, it became the title such topic of workshops held in Arras, Italy, headed by Curti. These workshops were aimed to bring together chefs and scientists alike to discover the chemistry and physics present in the culinary scene. The first workshops were held to discover the science behind these traditional cooking methods. These workshops continued until about 1998 when Nicholas Curti died, but then This promptly took over and headed the workshops for many years thereafter. In the 21st century, 31 universities have research teams dedicated to the exploration of the science. Molecular gastronomy, in essence, allows students in these fields such as biology and chemistry to see the practical uses of what they are learning.
So, continuing on, I'm going to be talking about molecular gastronomy and what it looks like today. After its creation in 1988, molecular gastronomy has impacted cuisine culture all over the world and has become increasingly popular. Many famous chefs in Spain, Italy, Denmark, Belgium, the United Kingdom, France, and the United States have perfected the art of molecular cooking as they create new recipes every day and that utilize unique components of food and their chemical properties. An example of molecular gastronomy today is in Chicago, where chefs Homaru Kantu of Moto and Grant Achav at Alina have devised innovations such as edible ink, paper, and aromatic pillows. Even chefs who do not specialize in molecular gastronomy use molecular gastronomy in their everyday cooking with the use of spirification, we'll talk more about that later, culinary foams, and flash frozen popcorn balls, and many more. The rapid spread of molecular gastronomy has inspired various trends and new innovative styles of food. This style of cooking uses only pure compounds such as water, ethanol, and glucose, rather than traditional food ingredients such as plants and animals. In addition to molecular gastronomy affecting cuisine all over the world, it has affected education too. Molecular gastronomy has shown to be an excellent educational tool, allowing students in biology, physics, and chemistry to observe and understand the practical use of theorems and material they have learned, and even Harvard University has created a new course on science and cooking in 2010. In addition to Harvard, thousands of other universities all over the world have created classes based on molecular gastronomy, and educational initiatives have been introduced within the main framework of physical chemistry education all over the world.
I'm going to be talking about the chemistry behind agar-agar powder in our project. Similar to gelatin, agar-agar powder is used in cooking for all gelling purposes. While gelatin is made from pork skin, cartilages, and cattle bones, agar-agar is a plant-based alternative. Agar-agar is usually made from plant agar, a type of seaweed. The agar-agar powder is a mixture of carbohydrates extracted from seaweed. The difference between agar-agar and gelatin is agar-agar's reversible properties. At 90 degrees Celsius, agar-agar melts. and at 40 degrees Celsius, it sets to a solid. Our experiment with fruit caviar and spaghetti shows two ways substances containing agar-agar can set: oil spherification in contact with cold water, which we will explain later. Since agar-agar is made up of carbohydrates, the polysaccharides present within it are responsible for its properties. When boiled in water, its polysaccharide linear structure curls and forms helices that then forms a more complex arrangement into a solid.
While the agar-agar is responsible for the food's gelling, oil spherification allows for the fruit caviar to maintain its shape as a sphere. The oil must be cold so that the hot mixture solidifies upon contact with the oil. This is due to a temperature change from hot to cold, meaning that the particles within the mixture slow down and lose kinetic energy, therefore solidifying each sphere. Vegetable oil in particular is used due to its properties as a lipid, or fat. Vegetable oil is a triglyceride, which is a type of fatty acid. Triglycerides are made up of glycerol and 3 fatty acid chains. Fatty acids, being an unsaturated fat, have double bonds which give it a low melting point, making it an oil at room temperature rather than a solid fat such as butter. This is very important for the experiment, considering the spheres must be suspended in the liquid. The oil, as is any lipid, is insoluble in water, making it perfect for fruit spherification, as no osmosis flow will occur between the oil and fruit mixture, meaning no flavor is lost.
Now we're going to be showing you how we conducted the experiment. First, we cut all the various types of fruit.
Next, we blended the fruit and created fruit juice for each different type of fruit. We used orange, strawberries, raspberries, mango, and lemon.
Next, we poured the orange juice, added 1/2 cup of water and 1/2 cup of sugar, and then 1 tablespoon of agar-agar powder. Then we boiled the mixture and stir it.
Next, we used a syringe and separated the orange juice agar-agar mixture and slowly started pushing it so that the mixture would fall into the vegetable oil, creating spheres.
Then we repeated the same steps using the lemon juice and the strawberry juice. The lemon was the most successful because the oil was the coldest.
Next, we made the mixture for the mango spaghetti by using the same ingredients as spherification.
We then put the mixture into a syringe and squeezed it into the tube.
Now we put the tube into ice to set. We tried to push the mixture through the tube, but during our first few tries it was too cold.
It took a little while, but we eventually warmed the tube up, and eventually we got the spaghetti to come out cleanly.
We repeated the steps using a strawberry and raspberry mixture.
The raspberry spaghetti came out the best because we figured out the exact time that the spaghetti needed to be cooled. After a few hours of hard work, we finally made some delicious food using molecular gastronomy.
Good stuff. Nathan's little brother over here.
Yeah.